Dandy asked me a question about what causes the hard horizon line on a flat plane. It's a very good question and a very important question, so I thought it was video worthy. Before addressing this, we need to understand what limits our vision of faraway objects. Size of object, contrast against background, how far away it is, and atmospheric distortion are the four limiting variables. This is why we can see the moon at night. The moon is large, the white light contrasts well against the dark sky, and looking straight up, there is less distortion than looking out to sea, for example. Let's compare the moon to the waves on the ocean. The ocean has all four limiting variables working against it. The waves on top of the water are small, the blue color washes out against the blue sky, the waves get further and further away, and there is a lot of distortion from the atmosphere. So, what causes the hard horizon line? This is the beautiful West Australian coastline. Today it's 35 degrees, and the visibility is quite poor. Today I can't even make out Rottnest. From this height, Rottnest should be easily visible. This is the limiting effect of the atmosphere and weather conditions. When you look close to shore, the waves appear larger and more spaced apart. Then as you look out to sea, the waves start getting closer and closer together, as well as getting smaller and smaller. We all know this is simply due to perspective. The waves get smaller and closer together the further out to sea they are. The globe community should know this effect of objects getting closer and closer together quite well. Just think about Soundly's electricity pylons appearing to bunch up the further away they get. The same thing happens with the waves on top of the ocean. The further out we look, the more bunched up the waves appear, as well as getting smaller and smaller. If we draw this out on GeoGebra, you see that the viewing angle gets smaller and smaller until our eyes cannot make out any more detail, and they just appear as a hard line. So, why can we see the boat on the horizon then? Well, the same variables apply. The ship is very large, and it contrasts well against the background of the sky. So we can't make out the waves anymore, but we can make out the ship. So it looks like the ship is sitting on the hard line of the horizon. The same principle applies in landscape painting and zero-point perspective. We all know single-point perspective, but do you know zero-point perspective?
So now I'm going to establish some distance markers using what I call the rule of halves and doubles. So at half of the distance to the horizon from the base of the picture, the distance is double what it was at the base. So if I make a mark right through the middle, I'm just going to draw a line right through the middle of this picture. Okay, now every time I cut the distance from any point to the horizon in half, the distance doubles. So I'm going to cut this distance in half. Distance to the horizon, right in the middle now between my 2 times marker and my horizon marker, make another middle line, okay, all the way across here. The distance here is now 4 times the distance at the base of the picture. Now if I cut this in half again, the distance is going to double again, and that's going to be the 8 times distance marker. Okay, so now I've established all of these number markers, and you can see I ran out of space in here. That background is getting really scrunched, so I came over here and I just squeezed in a couple of little lines. 128 times, 256 times, it's so close to the horizon, it's hard to even tell the difference.
So the hard horizon line is simply due to our limit of view over the ocean, and is also related to zero-point perspective used by landscape painters. Let's finish with a side-by-side of the painter's zero-point perspective and real footage of the ocean. Notice the similarities in how the waves get more and more bunched together, as well as smaller and smaller. Just a final note, I seem to be getting a lot of new angry people commenting on my channel, so just a reminder about my channel rules. Zero tolerance on this channel of any abuse, and treat others as you like to be treated. Thanks for watching, comment below.